To me, informed consent can mean a couple of things. I think first and foremost, I tend to think of the piece of paper that's put in front of you right before surgery, where you need to sign. Essentially, you've been told all the risks and complications and that sort of thing. That said, I think that there's so much that has to get you to that point that you're actually comfortable signing that piece of paper and kind of heading into surgery with your child.
Yeah, I agree. I think you don't want any surprises when you get to the point that the form's being signed. It's not really the time to be weighing risks or what the benefits are of the procedure. So I do think that, to me, informed consent means having a good understanding before you make the decision to proceed with surgery as to why it's needed, why it's being recommended, what it entails, and what the possible risks or other complications could be from it.
To me, informed consent is all those things, and it also, for me, starts with the minute the procedure or the surgery is mentioned. When we start that discussion, that's when really, for me, when the informed consent begins. From that first contact with the surgeon, the nurse practitioner, the nurse. And it's also knowing what to expect afterwards. It's so important.
I think during the process of giving and getting informed consent, there's often so much information that's given, and it's often given somewhat quickly. And I often have felt that I wasn't given an opportunity to really say, can you clarify this, or I don't quite feel comfortable with this. And often felt that I was being rushed through informed consent because it was just sort of a bit of hospital business that needed to be taken care of rather than a critically important part of the patient experience.
It's a misnomer to think that the informed consent happens when we're signing the form before surgery. That's clear to me. So that what we've emphasized with this program, what we've learned from is that it's a process. It's that communication, and it starts with those first interactions with the patient in your clinics. Mm-hmm. Now, whether or not you physically sign the form at that time or not, I don't feel strongly. Sometimes it's actually, in my mind, wouldn't be appropriate. That it would put undue pressure on a family at that time. They're first meeting you. They're hearing about the risks. They're thinking things through. They want to talk to their spouse. So, yeah, it'll work differently for different practitioners, different models. Ultimately, yes, there's a detail about signing that form, but that doesn't change the whole informed consent process that needs to take place.